Iceland is witnessing an alarming rise in racism, with growing hostility towards Muslims in particular.
We do not want people that are not adapting to our culture, like, for example, Muslims. I'm not saying that all Muslims are bad people, but unfortunately, they are not adapting to cultures.
Iceland has traditionally been a homogenous society, but that's changed over the past 2 decades. The country adjusted its immigration laws in 2002 when it joined the Schengen Agreement. It granted EU citizens access to the Icelandic labour market, prompting many from Eastern Europe to move there and work in the country's booming construction industry. But the visible increase of immigrants in 2007 triggered hostility. In that year alone, 1/3 of media reports about immigrants were crime-related. Polish and Lithuanian migrants were targeted as the damned foreigner, while ideas of white superiority and masculinity hailing from Viking origins was promoted in the media. Foreign workers are unhappy with the discrimination.
I felt like a person that you take from a third world country and you take it to a first world continent, and then you try to tell them, like, listen, we've been doing everything right for you because you haven't got food and house, so now we're giving you something special.
Muslims are also facing backlash. In 2012, the city of Reykjavik allocated a plot of land for a mosque. The decision was criticized by many who feared that it would be breeding grounds for radical Islam. Bloodied pages of the Quran, along with 3 pig heads, were found scattered across the plot of land in 2013. A few months later, in June 2014, local elections espoused heated anti-Muslim rhetoric. Iceland has a population of 350,000, and immigrants make up 11.3% of the population, of which 2,000 are Muslim. Iceland's xenophobic and nationalist Progressive Party, which opposed the mosque and Muslims in general, won 2 out of the 15 seats in the city's council of the capital Reykjavik. Since then, several political figures have made anti-Muslim comments portraying Muslims as terrorists. Shortly after the Charlie Hebdo attacks in 2015, Independence Party MP Ásmundur Friðriksson asked whether Icelanders were safe from terrorist attacks, encouraging background checks on all Icelandic Muslims. Iceland's government accepts small groups of refugees every year, but immigrants encounter problems with social integration, learning Icelandic, access to information, and lack of fair employment conditions. Asylum seekers are also treated differently than quota refugees.
The system for asylum seekers in Iceland is it's disgusting. They get treated like dogs.
In 2016, authorities dragged 2 Iraqis from a church that had provided them sanctuary. In 2018, only 160 of 790 asylum applicants were approved. Refugees held a series of protests against deportations, demanding better treatment of asylum seekers, but police used force against peaceful protesters, firing tear gas at them. So far, the only response is both institutional and physical violence inflicted by the state. Some asylum seekers expecting deportation have even attempted suicide.
You want to speak to somebody about what was happening here?
Yeah, you realize that if you post anything about this, you will be sued about it. You are not allowed to be inside this building.
Who's gonna sue us for it?
UTL.
Okay. Why would they sue us?
Because you are not supposed to be in there. Nobody's supposed to be in there. You are not allowed to have cameras in there.
Yeah. But do you think it's okay?
What?
Do you think it's okay that the refugees have no rights to visitors?
No questions.
The magazine, The Reykjavik Grapevine, found, quote, if these asylum seekers were convicts in an Icelandic prison, they would actually have more rights and privileges than they do in Grensásvegur and many other shelters. Immigration has divided Icelanders. Some support the demands of asylum seekers, while others want to send them back home. In 2015, many Icelanders rallied to volunteer their personal homes for refugees and pressure the government to take in more. Iceland announced it will take 75 refugees in 2019 compared to 55 the year before. Is Iceland's government doing enough to combat the rise of racism today?